Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Whenever we look at any picture of any religious leader or a saint or any spiritual leader, we find a disc halo around their head. Now, the history of this halo is a symbol that has spread all over the world. It's not now confined to one religion. And the history of this color is quite interesting. In fact, this is an icon of dynamic exchange of ideas that existed in the hoary past. There was a time when it was confined to one area of the globe, but now it's global. It started life as a Zoroastrian symbol of solar divinity. Sun is round, is shining, the rays are there, and that was condensed in the shape of a halo. It was a sign of divinity derived from sun. And Zoroastrians worship fire and sun. Let's not forget that. So that sign became to signify spirituality. But then it started spreading around. It spread across Eurasia, Europe and Asia. And it spread through empires and the trade networks. At that time, the trade networks and the empires were only in Europe and Asia. Africa came later on, though Africa is the origin of the whole world. And the edges of the known world at that time, it covered that. The growing acceptance of Christianity in a Roman Empire. The artists began to represent Jesus with a halo, now regarded as the highest symbol of divinity, of divinely sanctioned sanctity. And this symbol was basically representative of the spirituality, the religiosity, and the divinity. It was 300 AD, 300 years after Christ, that Christianity and its iconography occurred. And then it appeared in Buddhism. As a matter of fact, it appeared in Buddhism much earlier. It was a signal of Christianity's metamorphosis from a marginalized religion to an official power structure in the West. But in the East, Buddha was possibly the first person to have this halo around him. And the halo had stuck in art ever since, although it has undergone a lot of adaptation, lot of change. And that change has been seen in the statues, in paintings, in art, and the earliest sculptured representation of halos are there in Indian religious art. If you see, the great centers of art production were Gandhara, now Gandhar. It's on the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. And the second place where religious art was supreme was Mathura. Mathura is 19 miles south of Delhi. So Gandhar and Mathura became the centers of art production. And for the first time, they were making statues with halo. Because halo is something which can be there in a painting, in a picture, in a photograph. But making it a part of a statue was very intricate effort. In the late antiquity and in the Middle Ages, Gandhara stood as a center of immense network of trading routes that stretched from China in the east to Mediterranean in the west. And in the center was Gandhara. And then the Buddhist monasteries appeared along the way, and they were the key junctures of the trade highways. and they served as religious versions of caravanserais. So we have two things. One was the Buddhist viharas, where was the religious version and the trading version. And possibly for the first time in the history of civilization, the trading and the religious merged together. The Buddhist caravanserais offered a place of rest to the merchants, where they also prayed, they rested, they recuperated, and became the springboards from where Buddhism spread overland from India to China. And the artists then replicated the religious iconography in China. By 500 AD, halos were appearing in Korea and Japan. And what did that indicate? It indicated that Buddhism had arrived in those regions too. And the same dissemination occurred in Hinduism, which spread across Asia via overland and maritime trade paths. At that time, India was a great naval power, and in the sense that it was trading all over up to Latin America, as we have discussed. So, the religious attitudes and the artistic styles went to Indonesia, Malaysia, and other South Asian territories. These widespread arteries of trade linked east to west are often referred to as Silk Roads because the luxury goods shipped along with them. But along with the exotic merchandise, these routes also transported religion, knowledge, and iconography. The disc halo is an icon of this dynamic interchange of ideas that exist in the distant past. And from that time to 21st time, it is a powerful reminder of humanity's shared cultural heritage. Now, one thing connects all the religions, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Jewish, Hinduism, Japanese, Shaivism, Taoism, name it, even in Islam. So the first appearing in the religious art of the ancient Iran, as I said, the disc migrated across cultures as astonishing rate, and it was aided and abetted by the trade on the Silk routes. This simple symbol, very simple, connects on the one side Apollo, the Greek god, sun god, from where it originated, to Jesus and Buddha, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrian, and Greek mythology are usually regarded as utterly distinct religions, largely defined by their differences. But if you just look at them, you will find the interconnectivity. And one symbol connects all religions, that is Halo. And we know that it has remained in Christian art ever since and in Hindu art, but it has gone adaptation. God the Father can sometimes be seen crowned with a triangular halo, Jesus with a cross shaped halo, and the living saints with a square halo. Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism, they have existed peacefully in India in the first millennium before Christ. And all three religions shared artistic ideas, but their halo is circular. No triangles, no scales, no cross shape. And as I said, the great center of this was Gandhara. Now, basically, if we look at it, this aura around a holy figure's head expresses the glory or divinity and can be seen all over the world. There are many variants, including red halos, and we see that if you have gone to New York and seen the Statue of Liberty, you will see the red halos. And if you look at the Islamic, Ottoman, and Mughal and Persian art, you would find red halos or rather flaming halos. a fire is being emitted out of it. So whether it's a red arrow, whether it's a round arrow, cross arrow, flaming arrow, all the basic concept of halo is there, that the person is emitting light, and that light is the light of spirituality. The distinctive halo is, of course, has remained this halo. Now, why was this symbol invented? That's $1 million question. It has been conjectured that it could have originally been a type of a crown motif. Alternatively, it may have been a symbol of divine aura emanating from the mind of a deity. So both are possibilities. In the beginning of the civilization, it was the kings were the representatives of the god. So crown can be possibly be an originator, but nobody can deny that divine aura emanating from the mind of the deity was a major thing. Quite possible it was a simple decorative embellishment. And I saw one very amusing proposal that it derived from the protective plates fixed to the statues of gods to protect their heads from the bird droppings. Investigating the function of the circular halo in religious art takes us back to the first century before Christ. Before this time, it had not featured in any prior religion. First century before Christ. Before that, if you see, it was not there. And yet, it became a fixed piece of religious iconography across Eurasia, Europe, and Asia within a few centuries. It's also possible that it evolved from the early art traditions. In ancient civilization of Egypt, the solar deity Ra was commonly shown with a circular disk representing the sun. The same way, Apollo, the god of sun in Greek mythology, is represented by the circular disk. But there was a difference. Apollo is seen as a disk above the head. Here, Ra has seen the disk behind the head. So, meanwhile, some artifacts from Mohenjo-daro in the Indus Valley, the Indus civilization, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, we know, are the storehouses of knowledge. And they were created 2000 BC. Imagine 2000 years before Christ. And in the city of Mohenjo-daro, we have seen statues, features which look like red auras. However, the red auras in Mohenjo-daro statues are not only around the head, they are over the whole body. Likewise, in the art of the ancient Greece, there are occasional representation of red chromes of light surrounding the heads of the mythological heroes to suggest their unique divine powers. So, any person who has had divine powers, divinity, or any person who was perceived to have divine power, like Alexander the Great. So what they would do is they were representations of the red crowns of light surrounding the head. And then the distinctive circular disc halo is an invention of a later day and presumably the result of unique religious bias. As a matter of fact, as I said, it started with Iran. It was conceived as a distinctive feature of Mithra. Now, Mithra is the deity of light in Zoroastrian religion. It has been contested that the concept of divine glory, which in Persian they call Thervna, Thervna in Zoroastrianism, is connected with the radiance of the sun, and the halo was a pictorial representation relating to this quality of Mithra, just as it been with Ra. So whether it is Indra here in Indian mythology, Ra in Egyptian mythology, or the sun god in Zoroastrian mythology, Mithra, or Apollo. So, four civilizations, ancient civilizations, all had the same idea: a disk halo, a red halo, or the flaming halo in different ways. But then they became the symbol. In the terms of art history, no, it's not only religious, it's a part of the art history also. The sheer speed with which the disk halo migrated the cultures is amazing. By the year 100 AD, just a couple of hundred years after its creation, it was seen in far-flung locations as in Tunisia town of Al Din. Al Din was a town. It was also seen in the Turkey city of Samsota in India at that time, now Pakistan, city of Sahari Balod. By 400 AD, it had been embedded in Christian art in Rome, Buddhist art in China, and in fine few centuries all over. The initial movement of this symbol in religious iconography is outward east and west from its birthplace. And the first century, Indo-Scythians, who were nomads from Iran, Kushans from Bactria in Afghanistan, invaded India, which is, and also the territory is now covered by modern day Pakistan, Afghanistan, and northern India. Both empires, Indo-Scythian and Kushan, were steeped in ancient Iranian cultural history. And Mithra with a halo came with a greater force and merged with the Buddhist concept. This youthful, attractive god Mithra, with his divine radiance, had an appeal to a growing number of people around Hindu Kush. So much so that the iconography of Buddha, even from the earliest representation, earliest was Demaran, they have a Mithric hero. And you know, the Bamiyan temples in Afghanistan were the first temples which had shown Gautam Buddha with the same halo with Mithra had. Now, Mithra was also winning the hearts of invading Roman Empire to the east. So Mithra later influenced another Roman deity, Soi Inventus, that is, sun unconquered. So both gods combine graceful masculine physique with divine powers linked to sun's radiance and authority. And the first emperor who recognized the iconographical power of Halo was Constantine. He was 306 before Christ. He and his successors started using it in their own representation to show that they are the divine kings. And from there, the concept came in England, the divine rights of king. Now, what the Christians do, these Christian artists also starting investing Jesus pictures, paintings with halo to show the divinely sanctioned authority. So this widely spread art is of trade, Silk Road. They spread halo all over the ground. But the fact remains that today this symbol represents in a very powerful but understated manner that the person who is being represented has divine powers, is almost at par with the creator, if not the son of the creator or the representative of the creator. But he has got mystical and mythical powers. And the powers of sun. Now, sun denotes two things. One is the light, which illuminates the world. The second is the light of knowledge. So the spirituals imparted knowledge to the people. And that was the salvation to the soul. So all three, the temporal and the spiritual, merged in this halo and made it a most powerful symbol, which is today accepted globally as a symbol of spirituality and connectivity with a creator. This symbol is universally recognized, accepted, without any differentiation. As I told you, even the Muslims, Turkish, Iranian, name it. And this symbol has spread the globe over. And some worldly people are also appropriating it. But then that is taking away the strength of the symbol as such. Thank you.